welcome to G50. I'm Jack McGuire.
I'm Hendrix Farrell, and it's a great day to be a Dodger.
Indeed it is, especially now that The Dodger has officially entered the building.
And Instagram. You can follow him at @the.officialdodger.
Loved him at the pep rally.
Yeah, I really wanted to catch a shirt.
Yeah, well, it's kind of limits your chance when you're the MC and not actually in the crowd.
Very true. Very true.
But he was getting it done at the pep rally.
You know who's not getting it done? Congress.
Thank God we avoided that government shutdown last week.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm glad you asked, because Catherine, Gabby, and Cameron took a deeper look into what government shutdown really is.
Hi, this is Gabby Mariani from Dodger Media Online. On October 2nd, the government was planned to shut down. However, it was prevented at the 11th hour. In today's segment, we are going to talk about what a government shutdown is and what it means for our nation. We will also have a special guest, AP government teacher Ms. Ladke, who will give us her knowledge on government shutdowns.
So the first question is, does the government shutdown only affect the government, or are there other work industries that are affected as well? If there are, which ones do you believe will be affected the most?
I would get a microphone. So basically, a government shutdown has wide repercussions on the economy. So I mean, when you say other work industries, I mean, yes, the entire economy is impacted because government workers are so part of our daily lives. Some government workers don't come to work during a government shutdown. Others have to come to work, but they're not paid. But they're forced to come to work, and they're considered necessary employees or critical employees. And so, but what ends up happening with these people is that they know they're not going to get paid, so they call in sick, or half of them don't show, or they show late. And so
The last government shutdown took place from December 22nd, 2018 to January 25th, 2019. Because this was the longest shutdown in U.S. history, how did it affect our nation?
Okay, so a little bit of a repeat of this last question. Yeah, I mean, the impact on government workers, a lot of them that were sent home, obviously they weren't paid, and even the ones that were working weren't paid. And this had, and the longer you do it, the more they suffer because they're not getting their wages. And a lot of these workers aren't like high-earning workers, so they need every paycheck. Now, of course, they do get back pay eventually when the government reopens, they refund. But like for people that have monthly bills and are living from paycheck to paycheck, that's a lot of people that are struggling financially and get more into a hole. So that was a very specific effect on them. But again, overall, it hurts things because trade. There's just so much that the government does in business. Not just the border stuff, not just people flying from place to place, but even sort of permits. There's all kinds of government involvement in permission to move goods, to start a business. All those things, like, they stop because those aren't considered essential necessarily. So as literally the pace of the economy slows down and people lose money.
So because there are so many, such a big impact of the government shutdown on our economy, do you have any alternatives to the shutdown system in place?
Okay, so here's where we go into sort of how it's supposed to work. The reason it gets shut down is because Congress can't decide how much money to spend. Well, they're circumscribed. It's both how much and on what, right? And so what would help is if there was more of a plan, if Congress could learn to work together and compromise and figure out, work ahead instead of waiting until the last minute, because it's also the timing. So it's a combination of them not being able to compromise and then waiting until the last minute, and then the shutdown becomes sort of and I think this is related to one of your other questions. The shutdown becomes part of sort of their competition and the politics.
Thank you for your insight, Ms. Ladke. And that concludes our segment for today. Thanks for tuning in to Dodger Media Online. And never forget that a potential government shutdown is always looming.
Well, government chaos isn't good. It's like a bad movie.
Now that you mention it, movies just haven't been that good this year.
What do you mean? We had Barbie, Oppenheimer, and even Spider-Man.
Well, yes, those were good, but I'm talking about the scripts. They haven't been the best this year.
Well, that's mostly because of the writer's strike.
Writer's strike? What's that?
Well, Ian and Ethan are going to tell us about it.
The 2023 Writers Guild of America strike started on May 2nd and ended on September 27th. Popular late-night shows such as Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and even The Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert had to go off-air because of the writers' strike. The WGA and the AMPTP did start negotiations in March, but of course they didn't finalize a deal until September, which is 6 months, practically 7, that the writers didn't work and didn't want to write any scripts. This is the first writer's strike in almost 15 years, and although this one took 5 months, the last one took 100 days, in which 37,000 people had lost their jobs. The WGA and the AMPTP finally reached a tentative agreement, and now writers have the higher wages and better working conditions and rights.
And just like that, the writer's strike is over.
Was that an allusion to your favorite show there, Hendrix?
Nah, man, I'm not about Carrie Bradshaw. I'm all about reality. I love that new show where celebrities play pickleball.
Drew Brees and John McEnroe were going at it.
Lots of pickleball drama on the court.
And we're not immune to it here at MHS.
Pickleball has been taking over the tennis community.
I think it's definitely a growing sport. I know a lot of older crowd has been playing it.
Have you seen the new court installation behind the tennis courts?
Yes, I have, but let's take a deeper look into it with Nicole and Caden.
This is Nicole Amaral from Broadcast Journalism, and we're going to be interviewing our principal as well as our gym teachers and tennis team captain about the new pickleball court installations. Let's get on to it. So, what is your opinion on the installation and how it's affecting the school community?
The pickleball courts were actually installed by the town because it's town property. It's actually not school property. So they had asked the school just because of how close it was, if they could go ahead and we needed to remove some shrubbery and things like that. So the pickleball community has been using our tennis courts for quite a while now.
Cool. But I wanted to ask your opinion on how it's affecting the school community and how the tennis team would possibly be affected by the influence of pickleball on the community.
I'm not sure it would take away anything from students being interested in playing tennis unless all of a sudden pickleball became a high school sport. I think if that were to happen, it could have some effect on the number of students who play tennis. But right now, the only effects are, if there's a match or practice, people waiting for our match or practice to go ahead and end. We have issues sometimes during the school day when we have kids in the building of pickleball community members wanting to go and use the courts.
Hi, I'm Kaden from Broadcast Journalism, and these are the new courts that have just been installed by the Madison town. As you can tell, we have basketball hoops and we have pickleball nets, so they've made them multi-purpose. You can look down at the courts. There's all different kinds of lines. You have the lines for pickleball in yellow, and then you have the lines for the basketball courts.
Do you feel like there's any tension between the tennis team and the sport of tennis itself versus pickleball as a recreational sport?
I think pickleball has taken over as far as a popular sport. I know tennis is a big sport as well, but I think with the popularity of pickleball throughout the United States, it's really taken off. I think a lot more people can play it because it's shorter courts. I think there's a little bit more mobility that, maybe elderly can play a little bit more.
Other than that, do you think that the Madison High School tennis team is currently being affected by this pickleball outbreak?
No, because I think if you go out for tennis, you're a pretty good athlete. So, I just think it shouldn't really affect it. Personally, I like pickleball a little better than tennis, but it's because I don't have range from left to right, so I think pickleball is a little bit more speed, my speed.
So you like it better?
I do.
We wanted to hear from you about the new pickleball courts and how you feel it is affecting the tennis team at our high school.
So I would say that I've noticed is that during our matches, there's been a lot of middle schoolers. I don't know if they're coming probably from the junior school and they're walking over, and I would say like it's nice to have another place for, you know, the pickleballers to go and to play, but during our high school matches, having a lot of like the young kids screaming and yelling and being like directly behind the tennis courts, like we've had other schools complain about it. So that's been like a consistent issue, and a couple of times I've actually had to have my coach even go back there and just be like, can you guys keep it down? So I think it's just going to be, you know, during our high school matches and during the high school season, it's probably going to impact both the girls and the boys tennis team, as it already is. Yeah. And
A lot of new changes in Madison.
Did you know we got a new pizza place on Main Street?
Not a lot of people know about Formaggio's. In fact, it wasn't even included in this next segment.
It's about pizza?
Yeah, man, and I'm really hungry right now.
Me too. I can go for some pizza.
Where's your favorite place to get pizza?
Gotta be Italian Village.
I'm more of a Firehouse guy.
Well, Greg, Jack, and James took a look at 3 local spots.
What is your favorite pizzeria in Madison?
Firehouse Pizza.
Firehouse.
Firehouse Pizza.
Probably Firehouse.
Then what makes Firehouse so great?
I love the crust. The sauce, but I love the crust.
It's the thinness and the crust is just, it's perfection.
Where's your favorite spot to go in Madison for a slice?
Italian Village.
Italian Village. What makes that slice so good? Is it the sauce, cheese, bread?
The cheese in the baked ziti pizza is really good.
So you're putting the baked ziti on the pizza? That's your topping?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your time.
What makes the crust so perfect? Like, is it soft or is it crispy?
It's pretty soft, and I think it's made with love, you know. I think that's what makes it great.
What makes Firehouse have the best slice?
Just more options when you go in there, I think.
It's crispy, tastes good, lots of cheese, good price point.
It has to be a hearty sauce. I don't like one, watered down sauce. It's got to be pretty hearty. Nice chunks of tomatoes in there, a lot of spices, oregano.
I think it just has more grease on it, which is better. You like the grease?
And the cheese. They put a lot of cheese on it.
And what's your favorite pizza topping?
I like cheese, but pepperoni is the way to go, for real.
Veggies.
Veggies?
Yeah.
Stay healthy, stay healthy.
Go-to is pepperoni, but once in a while you want to go a little healthy. I'll go with the broccoli or the diced up peppers.
Yeah, pepperoni.
Pepperoni's the best?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Mushrooms.
Does the topping make the pizza better?
Depends on the person. I think it does.
See, Firehouse all the way. Nothing better than a good slice of pizza.
Sure there is. Pizza and football.
Did you watch football this past weekend?
Of course I did. What else would I be doing this weekend?
I don't know. Did you happen to catch the Chiefs game? Pretty good game, right?
Oh, you mean the Taylor Swift concert? I'm sick and tired of seeing Taylor Swift after every play.
I couldn't agree more. But yet, we all keep looking. Jack took to the school to find out how staff and students feel about it. Let's take a look.
Multi-Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Taylor Swift is one of the most influential figures in American pop culture history. And then there's NFL tight end, 2-time Super Bowl winner, and future Hall of Famer Travis Kelce. Rumors of these two superstars dating have surfaced all over social media. Let's see how Madison High School staff and students feel about them.
I got some questions about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce if you want to answer some. Can you name any of her previous boyfriends? Do you know anything about her previous dating history?
No, I just know that she's with Kelsey right now, I guess.
Okay, so she's been with Travis Kelce, Jake Gyllenhaal, Joe Jonas, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris, a lot of other people. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I guess good for her, I guess. I don't.
Good for her, good for her. It's about her and Travis Kelce.
Oh, I know very little, except that she's increased NFL attendance by a lot, and like more people are watching the games than have ever watched the games before, and the NFL is inviting her to every game because she increases attendance.
Do you think the relationship's being covered too much on the news, just right amount, or not enough?
Way too much.
Way too much. Why?
You're trying to get me annoyed. I don't think that when we watch a football game, after every play, we need to watch Taylor Swift clap.
How much do you know about Taylor Swift's dating history, if any?
She dates a lot of boys.
A lot of boys. Okay. So what opinions do you have about that?
I mean, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on this.
Do you think this relationship's being covered too much, just enough, or not enough at all in the news?
Too much, way too much. They should have showed the Jets more. The Jets were going off.
Do you think it's gonna last?
No.
Why not?
I hate them together. I don't think it makes sense at all. I think that she's had a very long dating history of similar people. Like I said before, they're all actors and singers, and this seems a little out of her comfort zone. I think one of them is going to cheat on each other, and I hope it happens soon.
I can't shake off that relationship, man.
She is definitely going to be the anti-hero of the Chiefs Super Bowl run.
I don't know, man. She loves shiny things. She might marry him for that Super Bowl ring.
No way. She got a blank space waiting for the next name.
And we got to get in that getaway car.
I'm Jack McGuire.
And I'm Hendrix Farrell.
As
always, here at G50.
It's a great day to be a Dodger.